Hi everybody, ArmyP here for eXplorminate.net, and welcome to my tips and tricks video, Ships on Hot Standby, while playing Master of Orion Conquer the Stars. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a little tip that I like to use to avoid paying additional upkeep on a fleet, but wanting to build past your command point limit. Sounds crazy, but I'll walk you through exactly how I do it, and it'll be a great strategy as you guys start to gear up for a war against an enemy AI that has a comparable sized fleet than you do. Now, just a recap here, everybody knows if you've played Master of Orion Conquer the Stars that you have a command point structure. Now, that command point is basically a number given to you that you can build up to and including that number without having to pay upkeep onto your ships. So that's, say, in this particular case, if you look in the upper hand left hand corner, you can see here that I've got a command point of 20. So you can see here I've maxed it out. I've got my command point maxed out at 20. Now if I was to build 21 ships, I would actually have to pay an upkeep, and it actually ends up being a huge drain on your economy if you choose to build above that 20 point cap. But what you can do is manipulate it a little bit to have all your ships ready to go just in case you lose any. Now this is how I do it. I'm going to open the Empire screen and I'm going to go to Jacob Prime, which is my capital planet. And you'll see here in the lower left hand side of the screen that I've got my building queue. And what you'll notice here is I'm actually able to move my queue from what I want to build to first, second, or third position. Now you'll notice right here I've got 3 times frigates and they're ready to go in a single turn. Well, how did I do that, you ask? Easy. So what I decided to do while building up, I had an enemy neighbor who declared war on me, and while he declared war on me, we had fleets that were very evenly matched. And after the war was declared a whitewash, we declared peace amongst each other. We have a truce. So now I'm a little concerned because my truce is actually coming to an end. So considering that our technological advancements are the same and our fleet size the same, I know that if he was to declare war on me again, it would be even a deadlock and it'd be a drain on my economy, and then I'd be vulnerable to all other AI races who might want to come to war with me. So what I decided to do was I decided to build a whole bunch of frigates. Now in this particular case you can see I've got level 6 frigates times 3. Now as soon as it got to 1 turn, I actually took it off of the main queue first position, moved it all the way to 3rd position, and then started building my normal infrastructure on the planet that I desire. Now I've done this on every one of my planets. You can see here that I've got a number 6 frigate, a single one, that's fine. And my 3rd planet, I've done the exact same thing. You can see here that they're all going to be built, and this one here has got 4 frigates on the build, because in Master of Orion you can build up to 5 ships in a single shot. So you can build, instead of building 1 or 2 frigates at a time, you can build up to 5. And what I did was I built them right up into the point where it was going to be completed in a single turn, and then move them from 1st position to 3rd. The reason I did that, again, we're just going to recap, is that I didn't want to go over my command points being over 20. The strategy behind that is that my main fleet, which is currently sitting waiting for a pirate to come and dig into my main star system, is that if I were to take any type of damage, and I chose frigates in particular because they're the ones that are most likely going to be damaged or destroyed in a major conflict, I can refresh them very quickly and easily in a single turn. In fact, all I'll have to do is open up my my Empire screen, go to each one of my planets, move my frigates into the first position for my building queue, and by doing so in a single turn, I'm going to be able to refresh my fleet by up to, I think it's 7 different ships. So this is a very, very excellent little tip, although it does take a little bit of time to build, a little bit of time away from you building other infrastructure to have them built right up into almost being complete in a single term, and then move them from the 1st position down to the 3rd. The fact is that now my entire empire is going to have up to 7 ships. Or of course you can change that depending on the amount of planets you have and the amount of ships you want to build and the type. You could basically replace your entire fleet in a single turn, which is something that the AI is not going to utilize, this kind of strategy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare war against the humans here. I'm going to pull out a little bit. You can see here the blue planets that I'm circling with my cursor is the human race. And here they've got a relatively sizable fleet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to take my fleet, I'm going to go there, I'm going to declare war on the humans, and I'm probably going to take a fair amount of damage. Once these ships are destroyed, I'll have more room on my command point structure to build more ships. But instead of having to wait 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 turns, I'm going to be able to replace them in a single turn. Okay, so here we are. I've moved my main fleet into the Sonkarna system, and I'm going to declare war against the humans by attacking their fleet. Now, I'm fairly certain that my fleet's going to be able to destroy theirs, but I'm probably going to take a little bit of damage in doing so. And then I'm going to show you just how easy it is to replenish my damaged fleet in a single turn using this tip and trick called Hot Standby. So let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to attack. I'm just going to auto-resolve because there's no real reason for us to go through this manually just to show it. So it looks like I lost 2 frigates and had 1 damage, but I was able to take out their entire fleet. So in this case, if I needed to replace that fleet exactly the same way I would have done it in the old ways, I would have had to change my building queue on one of my planets and then built them through the normal turn system. But now because I have them on a hot standby, what I can do is I'm going to go to Garnina Prime, and you can see here now my building queue is all ready to go, and I've got one that has been already built up into the very last turn before it's actually initiated. I simply just take this in my building queue at slot number 4. I turn it to slot number 1. I've destroyed it. You can see here, upper left hand corner again, my command point, because I lost 2 ships, is down to 18 out of 20. I click on the next turn button, and there I am. I'm back to 19. And let's say I took more damage. Let's say I took considerable damage. Let's say I lost 5 frigates or whatever the case may be. All I'd have to do is go. I have 3 frigates here. I just move this position from position 1 to position 2 to position 1. I sit there. I'm going to discard just to get through this turn. Guard. Oh yeah, so this is just formalities. That's telling that I am going to war with the humans, and then I can bring it, and there it is. Now, I chose to build this many frigates by showing you the different, the amount of upkeep you have to play. So if I would have built a larger fleet to begin with and then moved them into place and then gone to war and just hoped that I ended up losing a amount of ships. If you can see here, I've gone over my command points by 6. I have 26 out of 20, but now my income went from a positive to a huge negative. Now I'm looking at a negative 41, which is monstrous. It can cripple your economy, and it's just not worth it. But with this trick, you can keep your economy going in the red or in the plus. You're good to go. You're saving more BC every turn, and you're able to have a huge fleet be repaired and replenished in a very short period of time. I'm just going to show one little thing here before we wrap things up. If you choose to do this tactic, one of the things I will recommend is that you pay very close attention to where your ships are going to be located in terms of your building queue. What I like to do is I like to build, let's say I'm going to build a frigate, and at the bottom right hand corner I'm going to build 3 frigates. Now this should take 9 turns. So again, if I was to be building this on ships on hot standby, I would wait till 8 turns, and then I would move it from position 1 to position 2, whatever the case may be. But if you have a lot of different planets, that's a lot of things that you kind of have to juggle and balance. And one thing that happens in this game is a lot of times when you're on a roll or you're dealing with diplomacy, you might not be paying too much attention to what your planets are building and to checking each queue every time a planet builds something. So what I like to do is build trade goods and then put that in the second position, so that if I was to, let's say an example would be I want to build a research laboratory, okay, and I want to put that in position 1. What I will do is I will take trade goods and I'll protect it by putting it into position 2. Now the idea being here is, let's say for this, imagine this for a second, this frigate's number 6 times 3. If this only had 1 turn left and I was quickly going through turns, I might accidentally build that and then it cripple my economy by going over my command points costs by exactly where I'm at right now, maybe 6 or more. So what I do is I put in this trade goods into position number 2 and keep my frigates that are on hot standby in position number 3. So in that case, if I do decide to click next turn too many times, instead of building the frigates at a turn, which would have been crippling for me, I ended up just going to trade goods. No harm, no foul. So that's my tips and tricks. I call it, again, ships on hot standby. It's something that the AI will never see coming. It'll give you the edge, especially when you're going to either be defending your borders or pushing into a very massive attack against an enemy empire. So this has been Army P for eXplorminate.net. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.